Hey everyone, so what I'm going to do is just go back to my old school videos, when I can, of just creating haircuts. And I'm going to be doing a makeover on this haircut. I know some of you may be thinking, oh, but I like that haircut. Well, I already have videos of this haircut. So the whole point of any haircut I'm doing is going to have a specific purpose. So when I'm going to break this down for you, what I want to do is kind of give you an insight to, you may be somebody who has a hairstyle like this, right? And let's get even a little bit closer here. So you may have a hairstyle that's really heavy and bushy throughout the sides here. The hair is in the face. You may like this and it may look cool, but what I want to do is reverse all of this, where I take this in a lot tighter into here, kind of create more of a modern, somewhat of a wolf cut mullet, so to speak, where I take this a lot shorter into here, reshape this in the front, leave a little bit of this length back here, and just create like a nice balanced haircut. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to start cutting, and I'm going to talk when needed. Like, I'm not going to sit there and do a full breakdown every single thing. I'm just going to go with the flow and start cutting hair, and hopefully you will all enjoy this. So let's get into it. I'm going to start with clippers right on the sides here, and really what I want to do is just get rid of a lot of this bulk right in through here. And there's a number of ways I can do this. I can do this by using a clipper over comb technique, or I can do this by using like like a 6 guard. Let's go with a 6 guard here and see what this does. Yeah, this is perfect. Absolutely perfect. The 6 guard is exactly what I wanted to do. As you can see, it's just leaving a little bit of length, and I can even go back down and work off of this. Let's go down to 5. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to work my way up from this now. Now let's do a 1.5. That was the number 1 guard. Perfect. Okay, now let's do this on the other side. And go right into here, and I'm using my a clip here, the section of hair. I do sell these clips if anybody needs clips, so I do sell these. All right, let's go back to the number 5 guard. All right, let's go back to the 1. I was actually able to blend that all in one without even having to change. Yeah, let's just hit it with the 1.5 anyway. But there was no, don't really need the 1.5 because I actually just blended it all in one shot. Cool. All right, now it's time to get aggressive here. And I'm going to do this while the hair is dry. All right, cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wet this whole thing down, wet the hair down so I can make this a little bit easier to work off of, and because I can incorporate all the layers and all that kind of other stuff. So, and then I'll be able to do a much better job of executing this haircut because I want to be a bit more organized with this thing. And there's so much hair on this mannequin that it's like, whoa. So I'm going to wash or wet this down and then regroup, and then we'll come right back. I'm using my anti-static vent brush, and I sprayed in some 25 spray to make sure I get rid of the knots. And this is going to help keep the hair nice and moist for me. And it's really good for cutting as well. It's a great cutting tool. And this is by far my favorite brush as a professional. This is my brush. And it's got the rubber grip handle, which really comes in handy. So it's an anti-static vent brush. It's useful for anyone who brushes their hair. So let me just get rid of some of this excess water here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, I did some of the work. I did it in somewhat of a not super organized way. But what I'm going to do now is just really kind of go through this in the way that I think is going to be best for this look. And that's the first thing, is establishing, the length, right? The length, I kind of like the length. I'm just going to bring the length up slightly, just a slight bit. I'm going to say about maybe 1/2 inch. Just want to clean those dead ends up here. All right, cool. Now I'm going to work in this angle down in through here, and I'm going to do that by combing it forward like so and removing all of this weight in through here. But I'm working down into the length. So now I'm just going to cut upwards Cool, so it has a nice blend to it. Let's bring this all the way up here. And over direct right into here. So this way I'm creating a nice transition from this point up and into the rest of the length. And as you can see right in through here, I created a nice transition. And I'm going to do this on this side as well. So let's comb all this down, comb this all forward like so. And sometimes you got to really manipulate and comb the hair. This thing is all jumping all over the place. I don't know what the heck's going on. But let's see here. So there's the length. I'm going to leave that length right there. Now I'm going to cut upwards. I'm just basically pointing my fingers down. The more you angle your fingers and point them towards you, the more the angle is going to be, right? It's going to be shorter. The more extreme, the shorter to longer is going to be. And there it is. So I'm really just looking for like a good shape. All of this will get cleaned up as we start. But watch what's going to happen now. As I comb this down, I've created like a much better seamless transition going from this into this, as you could see there. Let's comb this down again on this side. There we go. All right, all this we'll worry about when we're done. There's still a lot of work to do, but this is why it's important when you know, getting a haircut or even cutting hair, to make sure you are dialed in on your execution, right? I tend to be a more of a free-flowing type of guy, even though it's like an organized mess, if that makes any sense. But to me, you know, by the time I've created 96 sections in the hair, it's already like, you know, so much time has gone by. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to cut the shape. Now I have to determine how long I'm going to have this kind of in the front here. So I want to have some length throughout the front, but you know, not super long, but I don't want to have this be super short as well. So I want it to go shorter into longer. So I'm taking my first section right there and I'm establishing my guide by pulling it straight out from the head, right? I'm just pulling it straight out from the head and I'm trying to just maintain that shape, right? And that balance right in through here. And I'm going to work until I get to those corners, right? Which I'm here now just about. One last section, that's the corner. I'm going to try to keep this behind the ear to protect some of that weight, which I can go back in and remove when we're at that stage. And here I'm going to now just push this out of the way and following a pattern, right? There's the guide and there it is right there. So this becomes kind of like the easy part, right? Once we get to this phase of connecting layers, blending layers, that's a bit more on the easier side if you follow a good pattern like what I'm doing. Now I'm going to start to work in the lower part of this, so comb this all down. And this is where I'm going to start to kind of over direct upwards a little bit. And what that looks like is I'm combing the hair out this way, so I'm leaving that length down and through here. So let's comb this down. I'm going to comb this all out to make sure I see my guide, and I'm going to over direct a bit more upwards. Because I want to start to preserve that length down and through here. And again, it all comes down to your body position, right? And your hand positioning. I'm elevating up this way, so that's what's going to help me maintain that length. This is obviously not, you know, for someone doing this at home on yourself, this is almost going to be impossible. I will just come out and say that. if you are attempting this on someone else, the way I'm doing this, I'm rotating, right? And I'm lowering the elbow. I'm lowering this, right? If I can't do that just with the hand, I have to lower the arm positioning. So I'm going to come around, and there, I'm lowering the arm position so that I can let that hair be shifted into a different type of shape. And then lastly, let's go all the way down. And what we're doing is removing the weight that's building on top of that. Even though I'm over directing, this is the way that I'm graduating and building that weight, as opposed to just like letting it all, bringing everything up to one section and letting it all fall down. That's, there's a lot of hairstylists that do that. I've seen over my 30 years or so of being in the industry, they just take everything and bring it all the way up, and then it's so heavy because of all that weight that was left. Well, no, it's still leaving the length, but what I'm doing is I'm going by every section to make sure that I'm not leaving any hair behind, right? Leave no hair behind. That's the motto we got to go with. So here is where I'm going to change my body position, and now I'm cutting palm to palm, and I'm going on somewhat of a diagonal section here, and I'm just looking to see what hair needs to be cut in order to make sure the shape has a good flow to it. This is part, you could say this is part of the cross-checking process, but this is also telling me, it's giving me a different perspective on the whole haircut itself. Because now I'm combing it in a different shape, and I'm combing it in a different way that gives me, almost a different view on everything. And that's when you know you're getting a good haircut, is when the professional does all of this. When they go in, they cross-check, they make sure that everything is laying properly. They're going into different body positions, and they look comfortable. A lot of times if you see a stylist throwing their arms way over, which, that hurts the back already. You could just, I'm just telling you right now, like, that's just from a lack of cutting the right way, to be honest with you. Because it's just very, very painful. So, all right, cool. So we've built that layered shape, which looks really, really awesome in through here. I'm loving how this all looks. Now it's time to work into this corner in through here, which we're going to connect now into the top. And there it is, right there. There's that corner, and we're now working this in to soften this part up right in through here. Now the top, what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the back part, which is this, into the top part, which is very, very essential. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to do the same technique of cutting vertically or cutting towards the face. There's the guide from the back, and now I'm introducing the neighbors. Hello neighbor, nice to meet you. And now I'm working to make sure that I now have a consistent, steady guide from the back, which is this part, into the top and the front, because there needs to be a connection, right? You have to have that introduction made, you have to have that connection made, so that as you work forward, everything is seamless. Now, because I have that guide, I can literally just cut this horizontally, which is straight across. So I'm going to hold the hair up. There's the guide, and I'm cutting straight across. Let's bring this hair down. There's all the hair needs to come off, and I'm cutting it straight across, just like that. And depending on the thickness of the hair, depends, but I'm not over directing. I'm literally just working my way towards the very, very front. And then last, we still have to work on this part in the front, which we'll do in a sec. So we've got the top done. The way I cut hair, it's the top, the corners, and the side. So let's go into the corners. The corners is where the roundness of the head is, and there's a corner, and yes, I'm going to cut that corner right there. Because this is all hair that needs to be removed simply because we have all this disconnection through here. So let's go to the corner, there's that weight. A lot of times the corner is what's creating that weight line. And here it is right in through here. And now the sides. And let's go in through here now, which we haven't really cut the very, very front yet. And where's that corner? Just that little bit right there. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to push this hair out of the way, and I'm just going to work this upwards right in through this area, because I feel this needs a little bit more blending. Okay, much better. All right, let's go to the very, very front right here. There's that length right there. Let's cut that off. Okay, now we haven't done this side yet, which we'll do right now. So let's go to the corner. There's all that hair right there. There's a corner right here. And now the side. All right, now I'm going to brush this hair out of the way, and I'm going to do a little scissor over comb right into this area. Okay, so I'm good. Great, now what I want to do is I want to just cross-check these layers right in through here, because that's where all the weight is. And I'm cutting this vertically just to blend everything and connect everything. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to blow dry the hair, and then I'm going to add some. Actually, let me do this now, because I'm going to I want to blow dry it in more of like a textured way. So I'm going to add some point cutting and some texture, and I do this all the time. This is just going to help enhance some of the curl or the wave. Now this is on 100% straight hair, right? This is 100% straight hair. And what I'm doing, it's do this at your own risk, but this is more of an advanced technique between slide cutting, between point cutting, but this really is me feeling for the weight and just removing that excess weight. And then this is gonna help build in the texture and the shape. And as you can see already, it's doing that right in the front here, okay? And let's do a little bit with the thinning shear right here. And I like to cut wet into dry. But since this is like, you know, it's already drying, I'm already seeing the shape that it's taking. So this is with no product whatsoever. Just shake this down in the front here. Let me comb this because let me see how this is looking. I want to make sure this is all a strong line right into here. And nope, what happened there? How did that get away from me? There we go. Got to strengthen this line up. Sometimes after you remove a lot of weight, you just have to, that's why I always suggest making sure you leave a little extra length, because, there we go. See, now I've created a much stronger line right into the front here. All right, awesome. So let's just do a quick spin around of the shape. And I'm gonna add some of my products now. I already have 25 spray in. Now I'm gonna use my best-selling product, Tidal Wave, which is my sea salt spray. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spritzes. You do not need a lot. That's the way I formulated Tidal Wave. And I'm also gonna experiment with the shadow, my cream pomade. So I'm gonna take a little scoop like this, scoops out super easily. It's a really nice, like a balm. Work it through my hands like this. It works through very, very easily as well. And once you get it through the hands, and I'm gonna run it through just to give it a little bit of hold, okay? And a little extra texture. Now there's gonna be hair flying all over the place because I thinned it out, so there's hair everywhere. So let's set the hair. The best thing to do is you want to set it in place. So I'm going to start scrunching and creating my texture. And once that's ready to go, then I'm going to start blow drying. And I always have a towel handy to wipe your hands, okay? To wipe your hands. Now, let's go back here. I'm going to take my Ionic blow dryer. This is my blow dryer that you can purchase. And now what I'm going to do is I'm literally just going to blow dry it, mostly without touching it, especially the top. Here we go. Now what I'll do is I will spray just 1, 2, 3, 4 spritzes of Tidal Wave on it. And from here, what I'm going to do is just kind of go in and shape it slightly. Okay, let's do the side view and through here. Look how nice that looks. Got awesome texture in through here. Really, really nice full shape right in through here that I've created from the layering. So if you have a kind of a flat back of the head, this is gonna be an awesome haircut. Look at how nice this texture is. Let's get a little bit closer here. Look how nice that texture is. Flows right into the front here, right? We got some volume, we got some awesome layers. Well, if you enjoyed this, let me know in the comments below. And it's really important to me that you let me know if you enjoyed this. I mean, this is a monster video here. This is a full haircut. This is a beast, this whole thing. Very long video, but I mean, let me know if you want me to go back to just my old school videos of just cutting hair and you watch, you know, because whether you're a professional watching this, I'm sure you'll be able to get something from this. And if you're a client watching this, maybe you'll pick some tips. If you want to purchase any of my products, you know, you can use code YouTube20 for 20% off at shop.thesalonguy.com. I got a full range of tools and products. I have haircut guides. I just launched my first haircut pack, which are haircuts similar to this. They're 10 images. It's $10. It's literally 10 images of haircuts, varieties of different haircuts that are similar to this type of wolf cut, textured cut, and it's 10 bucks. So I'm really going all in on my digital products. There's a lot to choose from right now. I think I have 4. Shop.thesalonguy.com. Let me know if you enjoyed this. I'll see you soon.